And welcome back, tankers. This is Mr. Kasarian, and today we are looking at the T-72 Ural, which is the initial model of the Russian T-72 main battle tank. So, the T-72 began production in about 1973. It was a Russian main battle tank, and it was actually intended to be a less expensive version of the T-64, which we've already reviewed, which was actually a more technologically advanced tank than the T-72 Ural. Go figure, right? If you want to know where this tank has been used, the answer is everywhere. Literally everywhere. Hold on. Let me lose focus on this window and let me go through the list of users. Okay. Where is this thing served? It served in the Afghanistan War, 1880 through 2001. It was in the Iran-Iraq War, 80 through 88. It was in Lebanon in 82. It was in the Sri Lankan Civil War, 83 to 2009. I can't even pronounce that. Nagorno-Karabakh War, 88 to 94. The Georgian Civil War, the war in South Ossetia, and the war in Abkhazia, the Civil War in Tajikistan, the First Gulf War, the Sierra Leone Civil War with executive outcomes, the Yugoslav Wars, four of them. The Algerian Civil War, the Rwandan Civil War, the Chechen War, Second Chechen War, the invasion of Iraq in 2003, the war in Ossetia, the Libyan Civil War, Syrian Civil War is ongoing, the South Sudanese conflict still, the conflict in Ukraine still, Northern Iraq offensive still, and the Boko Haram insurgency still. I'm pretty certain that is not an exclusive list. It has literally served everywhere. Alright? Literally everywhere. So the tank, like the T-64, has an autoloader, so you don't have a gunner. It uses two-section 125mm ammunition for its 125mm main gun. It is a pretty advanced tank for its time period and was actually one of the better tanks produced. The Israelis had a lot of trouble with this when they were fighting it with M48A1's American M48A1 super patents. Regular patents. The super patent is the M48A3. In World of Tanks, what is this thing? Well, it's a beast. That's the simple answer. Let's look at the details, and let's also look at my, let's see, Tier 5. So that's going to be, I scrolled past it already, my M60A3. You can tell which one I prefer because I've completed the T-72, and I haven't completed the M60. Pen. The M60's, it's looking at the M60's APFS-DS gun. Alright, so the APFS-DS. You have better pen, 6 more pen, and you have a lot more damage, about 114 more damage, comparing their APFS-DS. Damage per minute is much higher on the Euro. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Alright, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fix this quickly, so I can actually compare these things. Service this, please. Ammo. There. We all happy now? That's interesting how it gives you... Oh, that's APDS versus... I wonder why that's still being listed. Alright, doesn't matter. Alright, let's reopen the MBT so we can actually see the data on this thing. Nope, we wanted the M60. There we go. Details. There we go, now it's showing the heat round. So, the Ural has a higher DPS. It has a longer reload time, but still a higher DPS, which gives you a look at the relative power in their guns. Nearly 201 more points of damage. Now, this has upgrades on it, so keep that as you will. The M60 does have more hit points, but it actually has thinner armor across the hull and across the turret front and rear. It has a bit better side armor, though. Now, the composite is steel all the way across on this one. And on this one, it's actually layered steel composite and Kvarts and steel. So these numbers are actually higher effectively. So you're talking about 330 there. And yeah. So you're looking at a lot more firepower there than you have with... Or you're looking at a lot more armor protection than you have with your M60A3. Max speed, you're actually faster than it and you accelerate faster. Camouflage, you're stealthier, but you have a shorter view range. American electronics, I guess. Yeah, gun depression, it has you beat in the front, but you have it beat in the rear. namely because the M60 doesn't actually have any rear gun depression. You're less accurate, your aim time is longer, but your turret traverse is faster. What does this mean for you when you're actually playing this tank? Oh, one more difference. The M60A3 gets ERA. You do not. So the armor information is a little different than it looks at first glance, but I still think the T-72 has better armor. It also, in my humble opinion, has a lower profile. Because it has a lower profile, it's harder to hit and harder to actually do damage on. You can bounce a lot of shots with this tank. So, what do I think of it? I like this tank quite a bit. It has a very, very good punch. Has a lot of damage it can dish out. I, of course, have Freya equipped. And for my loaders, let's take a quick look at the crew details. We have Smooth Ride and Quick Draw. That's it. That's it. You can't actually get the loader skills. They don't exist in this tank, so don't expect to get those. I'm probably then going to do either do the twist or shoot from the hip. And then for my driver, he's probably going to get off-road driving or spin to win. Either one. Consumables, I have a field rebuild kit, because once you get the availability, just put it on your tank. Please, just put it on your tank. Especially if you're doing hard missions. Just put it on there. It brings your tank back to 100% health. Or you die and you come back with 60% health and 100% ammo. Yeah, you come back with 100% either way. I didn't put a mobility upgrade in this thing yet. I probably should. However, for firepower, I have the chrome barrel lining to increase my damage and decrease my minimum accuracy. Or increase my minimum accuracy. You get the point. My actual firepower upgrade, I gave it increased damage and better aim time. So I'm boosting damage. Damage, damage, damage. Alpha, alpha, alpha. In this, I'd probably say give it enhanced oil cooling to give you a better acceleration and turret traverse. Actually, that's what I'm going to do right now. I hadn't even realized I hadn't had this thing upgraded that way. There we go. So you now have a bit better turret traverse on this thing. Let's take a look at it. Turret traverse is a bit better. Good. And you have a bit better acceleration to boot. So that's really handy with this tank. Now you don't have ERA, but you do have decent armor. But let's take a quick look at how this thing does in a match where you're not top tier. In fact, you are bottom tier. You are 2 tiers down in this PvE match. We have an LAV 600 who is tier 7, 2 tier 6 Stingrays, and then we are on the bottom with another T-72 with Moshe David. Let's see how Russian Steel stands up in Operation Meltdown. While we're going through this, one thing I want to mention. So a lot of people criticize the T-72, partially because it got its butt handed back to it in spades during the 91 Gulf War. Both T-7, I think they were mostly T-72As, Iraqi versions thereof. Now, that is true. It did get its butt handed back to it by the United States Army. Yes, the Brits helped, and the French and everyone else, but it was honestly mostly the United States Army and Marine Corps. Why did that happen? Well, a couple different reasons. One, the T-72 is an older tank. Much older tank. Now, the war versions of 91 had been modernized, and they were Iraqi-built versions supplied by the Russians. The Russians provided the parts, the Iraqis put the parts together. However, the United States had a massive advantage, and the two things you always look at when looking at armored combat, so I'm going to put a round down that range at this Stingray, which I do. You can't just look at how they built their tanks. You can see that lack of gun depression is killing me here. 526 damage, that's not too bad. You don't just look at what tanks people are using. You need to look at what tanks they're using and what their doctrine is. How are they using those tanks they have? What are they using them to do? And I'm going to let that Stingray go. How do they fight with them? And the United States had superior tank doctrine. The United States tank doctrine is based on the theories of Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, German commander in World War II, probably considered one of the fathers of modern tank doctrine. He was the one who emphasized maneuver warfare, the ability for tanks to move quickly. And this isn't moving very quickly. It's actually pretty zippy for an MBT at this tier. the United States demonstrated that. We were able to flank, we were able to maneuver, and destroy our enemy using our superior maneuverability and mobility to our advantage. As well, the Abrams had far superior electronics and fire control. Now, I'm getting beat up pretty bad here, so I'm going to pull back a bit. Remember, I'm not at top tier right now. I'm thinking about firing at this I'm not going to try it. Akasia? I don't know. My Russians, I don't have any Russian training, actually. So, the T-72 was outmatched, and the tank it was fighting, which was the M1A1 Abrams, was specifically designed to kill the T-72 en masse. In fact, the United States Army, I think the best description is designed, and I'm going to try and get a shot down here, and my terrible gun depression just ruins it for me. The M1 was designed to massacre T-72s. That's its job, all right? We were expecting during the Cold War that the Russians would come with hundreds of, like thousands and thousands of these tanks. This tank in particular would come flying across. I just can't get the shot on this guy because of my gun depression. I'm going to try and do something stupid, and I decide that that's really stupid, and I'm not going to even think about it.
Well done.
The Russians would have thousands of these just pouring through Germany at us, and we needed to stop them.
The enemy has refocused their efforts on
and
the
so we built
itself.
the M1
They are trying to
Abrams to
overrun
do
the
it.
control facility.
So the M1 was designed to fire on the move, be very maneuverable, engage the T-72s in long-term maneuver warfare, and just fight, and rip them to shreds. And that is exactly what it did in 91. Now, I'm not saying the Abrams doesn't deserve its achievements in 91. It is a masterful piece of engineering. And I'm pretty sure it is a match for just about any main battle tank that's its contemporary. Even the Russians, the T-80s and T-90s, I'm pretty certain that the M1 Abrams is more than a match for them in open combat. So I decided that Terminator is not something I want to deal with today, so I'm going to ignore it. Instead, I get into a fight with the Stingray. And in this match, remember, I'm on hard, so I'm not bouncing as many shots as I think I should be. I'm having real issues. There we go. Take him out. Anything at my tier I'm doing fine with, but anything above me I'm having real issues with. So I noticed there's an enemy tank here somewhere who's trying to cap the base. This BMD is going to come flying out. Bye. I'm thinking about going up against this M1A2 Abrams, and I decide that would be a terminally stupid idea for me to do. So I decide instead I'm going to let the other T-72 Ural have a nice time with him, and I'm going to come up here and engage this Bradley. I didn't even realize it was a Bradley, actually, when I fought it. I was like, oh, tank, shoot it. So, yeah, not to take away from the T7, from the M1's achievements, but it was designed to kill these things. And it was designed to do that very effectively. On top of that, the United States had full air superiority, so as long as we can get our aircraft over there, we rule the skies. And I don't care what tank you're in, and this is me running into a tank body again. I don't care what tank you're in. An A-10 gunship, or an A-10 Warthog, Thunderbolt 2 Warthog, is going to ruin your life. Be very happy they don't exist in armored warfare, because none of us would live to survive anything. Hold on, I'm going to get a 30mm Gatling cannon, and I'm going to shoot it at you a lot. Why? Because I hate you, and everything you're made of. Yeah. So, what do you think? The T-72, what do I think of it? It's actually one of my favorite tanks in this game. It has maneuverability, it has okay armor, not great. Again, I'm at the bottom level for this match. So a lot of things are penning me, and that makes my life really difficult. But it has a big gun, and it has a great amount of alpha damage. It's incredible alpha damage.
Well done. The control
so now we're going to move on
facility is
right. It has incredible alpha, and I love that about this tank. It's just a fantastic armored vehicle. It's balanced.
A meltdown is imminent.
So they're telling... That's, I think, our Tesla. That's our LAV telling us where the Artie is, probably. That's fine. Artie, he can go spam that all he wants. I don't much care. He can go do that. I'm going to go off, and I'm going to have some fun. So we're going to drive down this way. I think I've already burned my rebuild kit. I don't know right now. Alright, so we see the VFM. Get a shot on him. He hits me, of course. Remember, this guy's a tier up from me. So I actually bounced that shot. And I'm like, well, there goes the rebuild kit. And now I'm in a frontal fight with this guy, and I'm having trouble penning him. There we go. I get a pen in. I actually got that pen in through his, or I get a pen in here through his vision port, I think. Yep, and then our Stingray destroys the Stingray too. So I'm going to come around this way, and I'm going to engage over here now. This is a sort of match where I end up running around a lot, and just having a hard time getting stuck in, and there we go. So my not great vision range in this tank is actually really causing me some issue here. I can see that MBT-70, and there we go. I just see the BMP-2, and I lose a track. So I put a round on him for a lot of damage, and now I'm going to switch back to this MBT-70. Because he can hurt me a lot. And I'm trying to find a weak point in his armor, and I don't quite get one. And he hits me in the side because I have too much of my side exposed. I'm not going front onto him, but I do get some damage on him. So I know that there's a Terminator over here, and I think I'm switching over first round heat, and my second round is going to be Sabo. I get a hit. He disappeared, but he wasn't moving, so I was able to get another shot on him. And I think now I have Sabo loaded. Maybe. I might have heat again. I might have not switched over my shot this time. So there we go. I see the Terminator. I stop. I take aim. And I take him out. Yeah, you can see I've taken quite a bit of damage on that front plate. And it stopped quite a bit of damage as well. Leopard 2AV. I'm going to aim, aim. Boom. Alright, so, now, we have another Terminator. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with that today. I'm going to fight this Pac 90. I'm taking a hit from somewhere, and he tracked me on the first shot, so we're having some issues. Now I'm going to start rolling ahead here. And someone already got that AMX 90. Alright, so I think that about sums it up. Let's get back to the garage. The rest of that mission is me retreating back to the water tower and our two Stingrays going and hunting down something tasty. Tasty. That's a good word for it. They find the last arty, blow it up, and we end the mission. Which is a pretty good ending. Now, I was low tier, right? So if things work as expected, you'd expect me to wind up pretty close to the bottom of the match. Well, as it turns out, I didn't. I actually wound up mid of the match, above one of the Stingrays and above the other T-72. By a lot of damage, too. 9,738. I'm actually only 400 damage off from the Stingray who came in first, but he just got a lot of spots. So, even low tier, it's a really good tank. It is very good at what it does. Let's take it into one more PvE mission. I think that was a hard mission, wasn't it? .3? Yeah, that was a hard mission. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out what was going on outside my window. Teaspoon Brigade's out and about. Alright, so... I don't want to do that mission. Fine. So we're doing it this way. So I think I'm going to wind up in a higher tier match again, judging by Matchmaker. There aren't a whole lot of players online right now, and not a lot of them are over in hard mode, so we're probably going to end up low tier again. On the other hand, this map is a lot better for MBTs. This is a very nice map for MBTs. Everything's in a lane. It's hard for people to flank you in most places in this map. It's not that hard. There are some open patches, but it's relatively hard for people to flank you in this map. And that's really handy. That is really, really handy. So let's see what we do. Boy, game, if you just took all the tier 5s... there we go, joining mission. Like, if you just took all of the tier 5s and that tier 4 and threw us all together, we'd have a pretty good mission going. Right. So, yes, I am a monumental fan of the T-72 Ural. I actually am not as big of a fan... Really? Really? I mean, looking at it, I could have just taken all the tier 5s and just thrown us all together, and we would have been done. But no, you wanted to send me in with Challengers, Abrams, a Terminator, and a T-72A. So, it's going to be very hard for me to get a lot of kills here, because I have 2 tier 7s and 2 tier 6s against my tier 5. So, I'm going to have a really, really hard time getting getting kills and getting damage on target, because I'm probably not going to be able to penetrate most things. I'm going to stay with my heat shell, though. And the reason I'm staying with my heat shell is because I want to have that alpha, especially because the T-72A has the same alpha I do. And that Terminator has a much higher DPM than I do. So I'll stick with heat for right now. If it looks like I'm having a lot of trouble penning things, I'll probably switch over to my Sabo. Alright, so we're all heading the same general direction here.
Get ready, Black Company. Enemy spotted in the west.
That Challenger 1 is just a giant block of armor. He is
Two orders, Black Company.
pretty much
We
not
know that the
invulnerable,
Lions
but...
of Neckwheel are going to use the oil here for their own gain. Plant explosives in the marked target so they can't get their hands on anything.
Yeah, alright, we're gonna have issues.
Let's ruin their day.
I think we're gonna have to use a lot of Sabo in this match.
Target locked on.
Alright, apparently not. Come on. There we go.
Target locked on. Ammo up. Target hit.
There we go, got a shot into him. Now, I gotta be a bit careful here. Because I can't really pen... I'm gonna have a hard time penning that guy. This Challenger 1... Alright, so if I can get over here... Alright, yeah, there's a Terminator back there. Thanks, game.
No effect. Ammo up.
Alright, so we're just having issues today, apparently. Alright, so the Challenger got him. Again, if you see what I mean, we're just gonna have issues today. And everyone's gonna start shooting at this Blue Light Pounds out because he's basically a giant.
Thanks for clearing the way for our guys in the hills. We need to clear the area around the main offices next.
Alright, so we're gonna head this way. However, we need to start sabotaging these holding tanks.
Keep them away from
The
here.
secondary objective. Now, I can get one of them. This one up here. If the Terminator doesn't get there first, which he might do that. I've been spotted by someone, but I have no idea where they are. Again, bad vision range.
Identify.
Alright, so we see our targets. We have an Abrams out there.
No pen.
With that sort of firepower pointed at me, I'm going to have a hard time getting pens on anything. So I'm going to pull back a bit. Alright, so someone killed the Stingray, which was stupid.
No pen.
See, it's funny, because it's showing me green, and then it's like, nope, no, you can't pen that. Sorry, buddy. So now we're going to advance on him. I'm going to... Really?
Target hit.
There. Alright, so if we load...
Incoming! Driver, move! Incoming! Driver, move!
Thank you. So let's move up. This is going to be a very low damage game for me because
Target locked on.
it is.
Target lost.
Yeah, neither of us are going to get this.
Target lost. Target down.
I wonder why the Terminator didn't fire there. That was an interesting choice for him not to shoot. I'm coming in flat last on the damage charts, just because I'm having so much trouble penning. And because this is not my most well-beloved map. Alright, so let's actually start getting caps. If we're not going to be able to do much damage, we need to start actually capping things. Well, not capping, but sabotaging things. By the way, this is not cover. I learned that the hard way once. That is not cover. Enemies can shoot straight through it. Just letting you all know.
Two down. Next target's identified.
Now, the nice thing about this is that even if they spot me, that when I run into the enemy, they're... well...
Looks like they're turning their attention elsewhere. I hope they don't head for the docks next.
You say that. You say that. Alright, we found the rest
We're
of them.
loading up the tanker
Great.
now, so keep them off of us. Enemy tank spotted to the east. Right here.
Let's advance up a little bit. Found them all.
Nailed them.
So, in this sort of a situation, getting into flanks
Nailed them.
and just being irritating is a really good way to do this. And if you don't miss, you should do fine.
Target eliminated.
So what's happening is they're not prioritizing me. There's a Challenger one out there, and they're far more concerned about that Challenger than they are about me.
Penetrating.
Now, there's a weak spot
Nailed them.
right there. There we go. Can't quite get a line on him. But we should... Yeah, alright. Does someone want to take care of this? Yeah, alright, no one did.
That was close. All
That's
right,
fine.
Black Company,
That's
we're
fine.
out, but we'll keep in touch. Thank you for your help.
I didn't do as badly as I thought. Mostly because I got into a really good position right at the end there and was able to put flanking fire in on enemy tanks. Hey, listen. You take the matches you got. That's basically it. You take the matches you got. And that's what you can do. Yeah. You know, you take what you can. It was a hard match, hardwood match. Not a lot of my tier in there, so I got lumped in with everyone else. That's fine. Whatever. That's fine. I don't think we burned our rebuild kit. I don't remember hitting that button, but I might have. I got the shot on the run finally. And T-72 Ural. And I did not use my rebuild kit, I don't believe. Nope, no rebuild kit for me. I came in dead last. I'm at tier 5. All right, give me a break. Just to show you guys the differential here, let me look at my T-72A. So his penetration on his heat round is 334. Okay? Minus 278. All right? So he actually had a better chance of penning in that environment than I did. Yeah. We'll let that T-72 do his T-72 things. Anyways, guys, we will be looking at that in the future. This has been the T-72 Ural. And I hope you've enjoyed it and found this useful and helpful. In mid-tier matches, where they are saying you are top tier or mid-tier, you are a brawler. Get in there and use this big gun. All right? Don't be afraid to take the hits. Low tier, flank them. Play like a light tank. Get around to their sides and just put rounds into their side armor. You have a lot of damage you can dish out. Use it. All right, this has been Mr. Xarian. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, good hunting.